Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Berry. I'm the Director of Undergraduate Studies for the History Department, and it is my great pleasure to be with you here today for this joyous occasion. And I especially want to extend a welcome to our graduates, welcome to all of our history majors and our minors who are joining us today, and welcome also to all the families and friends who are here with us. I'd also like to take a moment before we begin to thank those who have been deeply involved in planning and producing this very unique ceremony. Thanks to Charlie Spire and Greg Parker, and a very huge thank you to Elizabeth Collins for leading, organizing, producing this, putting it together. Thank you very much. I also want to let you know before we get into the ceremony that we are recording. And before we begin, I'd like to go over some housekeeping related to Zoom etiquette. So that everyone can hear the speaker, please remain muted except when we ask for applause, and feel free as you're muted to use reactions or use the chat to express your congratulations. And if you would like to follow along, we have also pasted a link to the program in the chat. I'd also like to introduce Kate Brubleski, who is the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Studies and is co-hosting our event today. Kate?
Thanks, Stephen. Welcome to our graduates. I would like to open this afternoon's event by introducing Professor James Cook, our department chair, who will offer a welcome.
Thank you, Stephen and Kate, and hello, U of M history. It is truly wonderful to see you all. I hope you are having a properly good and celebratory day, wherever you may be in the wider world. If you are here in Ann Arbor, you will know the sun has come out to join us for this celebration this afternoon. Above all, I want to offer my warmest congratulations to the graduating U of M history majors and minors of 2021, as well as to all of the wonderful parents, siblings, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, and other kind souls who have helped to make this moment possible. Thank you so much. My name is Jay Cook, and I have the great honor and privilege of chairing one of the very best history departments in the entire world. This is actually my 4th year as chair, so I've also had the honor of guiding our department through the time that the class of 2021 has been moving through it, from first-year seminars to this moment of graduation. Before launching in, I want to say my own very deep and sincere thank yous to everyone who's helped to make this possible. Above all, to Stephen and Kate for their fantastic work as our Director of Undergraduate Studies and Associate Director of Undergraduate Studies. Also to our amazing staff in the U of M History Office, Sheila, Charlie, Greg, Elizabeth, Jennifer, Diane. Also to the 3 associate chairs who have helped and supported me over the last 4 years, Kit French, John Carson, and Dario Gaggio, who were responsible for managing the massive curricular chessboard that is U of M history. We're the largest history department in the United States, so it's not a small job. Normally, of course, I would be speaking to you in a crowded, somewhat overheated, and properly rowdy auditorium on campus with hundreds of you in the audience, diplomas on the table next to me, and a slideshow of our graduating seniors running on the big screen above me in the Modern Language Building. I have to say this annual ritual has been one of the real highlights of my 4 years as chair of our department. In my own experience, having this opportunity to step back each spring and celebrate our incredible history students, our department's entire reason for being, is exactly what I need to recharge and re-energize at the end of a very busy school year. Obviously, things are very different this year as I talk to you on a computer screen from my home in Ann Arbor. The good news, I suppose, is that we're much better at Zoom now. So unlike last year during the first phases of the pandemic, we're really pleased to be able to run a live and synchronous graduation ceremony for our students and their families on a virtual platform like Zoom. But all of that said, I know we're weary of Zoom at this late date, and I'm deeply aware of how challenging and often isolating this pandemic year has been for the class of 2021 and for all of the good people who love and support them. When this pandemic burst into our collective consciousness early in 2020, none of us could have really imagined the year that followed. As chair of our large department, I can tell you that the 72 faculty who make up U of M history have desperately missed the more intimate and spontaneous interactions that come with teaching in an actual room or around an actual table. We too have struggled with isolation and have missed the spontaneous magic of working with our remarkable students in a classroom. I've been enormously proud of the faculty's collective efforts to adapt their teaching to virtual platforms, and this has not been easy. Last spring in 2020, we did it on 48 hours notice. We also recognize that this hasn't been an easy road for any of our students or faculty or staff colleagues in U of M history. I was especially reminded of this yet again when I took my 22-year-old nephew out to dinner to celebrate his own U of M graduation a couple of days ago. My nephew, CJ White, is a dual dance and neuroscience major from Washington, D.C., and this past year, he paid his bills by working as a resident advisor in West Quad, one of our largest dorms for first-year students. As you might imagine, I've heard quite a bit from CJ about the enormous challenges that he and others have faced on the front lines, trying to maintain some kind of normalcy in this collective experience we call college in the midst of a global pandemic, in addition to working every week to keep his students safe. I suspect as well that many of us on this Zoom feed today have faced extraordinary challenges that extend well beyond U of M classrooms. In some cases, this has sadly meant the loss of a job or even a loved one. And in a context like this, it's truly an extraordinary achievement to persevere to graduation and to finish your degree from one of the best history departments in the world. I know it's been an enormous act of determination and kindness for the families to help our students get to this special moment of graduation. So my warmest congratulations to everyone today, and here's to many better days ahead. For our students, this is a moment to take pride in more than a decade of hard work, first to get into this enormously competitive university, then to pour yourself into a demanding major like history, and finally to graduate from one of the finest universities in the world. For the many parents and other family members, you came to this moment through a series of selfless acts over 20 plus years, saving for your child's education, supporting them through the application process, helping them adjust to life away from home, and now applauding them at the finish line under the exceptional circumstances of COVID. For my colleagues in U of M history, this graduation ceremony is a moment to step back and take stock of the most important thing we do, namely to teach, inspire, and mentor, to share our ideas and foster creativity, to help our students develop their many talents and produce something of real value in the wider world. In short, I like to think of this fleeting moment that we're all experiencing right now together as the best kind of historical convergence, all of us coming together on this Zoom call through the actions and ambitions of our better selves. In conclusion, I just want to say to our graduating seniors, I hope this time in our program has been an exciting and ultimately rewarding experience, one which stretched you in all of the very best ways. We applaud and thank you for everything you've given and accomplished here. It's been a true pleasure teaching and working with all of you. And we encourage you to stay in touch. Please stay in touch. Please write to your favorite professors after graduation. Tell us what you are up to next year or even 10 or 20 years down the road. And as you begin to move into your new lives and professional contexts and adventures, please keep us posted on your progress. One of the greatest pleasures of my job as chair of history over the past 4 years has been receiving notes and letters from our remarkable alumni who've gone on to do incredible things all over the world, but still love the University of Michigan, remember their favorite courses, and care deeply about this department. We are truly proud and honored by our U of M history alums, and we hope to bring you back here to Ann Arbor to share your experiences with the next generations at a later stage of your lives and careers. So thank you, everybody, and my warmest congratulations on everything you've achieved. You really do us all proud.
Thank you for those remarks, Jay. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our first student speaker, Chase Glasser. Chase, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. My name is Chase Glasser. I hail from Milford, Michigan, and I'm a graduating history honors student here at U of M. Over the last year, I've also had the high honor of serving as the editor-in-chief of the Michigan Journal of History, the history department's undergraduate publication. I'm deeply passionate about history, and I always have been. I truly count myself as blessed to have been a part of such a highly esteemed history department where I could study everything that I was passionate about and so much more. I would be remiss if I did not briefly offer thanks to those who made this possible. My family and friends have been indispensable, especially my loving and supportive parents, Miles and Jezebel Glasser. Equally helpful have been the incredible faculty, staff, and students of the University of Michigan's Department of History, from whom we've all learned so much. We've been able to learn both in the classroom and in the offices of our professors and graduate student instructors that have stretched us and given generously of their time to educate us. Personally, I've had the benefit of learning from some truly legendary names: Marwell, Cole, Brick, SUNY, Scott, Ely, among many, many others. Professor Marwell in particular was a great asset to me as an advisor in the writing of my honors thesis. I think that he embodies all the faculty in the history department, giving generously of both his time and his library to further my academic development. I will treasure the memories of our socially distant talks about the First World War in his front yard forever. I know many of my other students have had similar positive experiences with their professors. We've also been able to learn from each other. I've been lucky to be challenged and stretched by some of the smartest people that I've ever met in our classes and discussion sections. We have a diverse and varied student body that I believe rivals that of any academic institution anywhere. By navigating Michigan history's curriculum, we've learned about history from many different perspectives as we learn about different regions and periods in time. We've learned both about our pre-modern past that shapes the contemporary context and the more recent events that form the present in which we live. We've also learned much about our country and how we got to be where we are today. Being at Michigan has taught me that history matters. As graduates, we enter a world on knife's edge, fraught with political dissension, a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, and a national crisis of character. Many people are confused and scared for what the future holds. As graduates of one of the nation's premier history departments, we've been uniquely prepared to navigate the foreboding world of tomorrow and recognize opportunities amidst the chaos. Though perhaps others may not say the same, for me, studying history at Michigan has made me more appreciative of our country and the unique and transitory time period we occupy in it. Amidst people questioning the value or even the reality of the ideals upon which our country was founded and the efficacy of the system of government put in place, I've grown stronger in my belief that America is a truly special place, one with enormous worth and incredible potential. Studying history at Michigan has taught me that America has a near endless capacity for self-improvement. I am proud to go to people with whom I believe will drive the next generation of American achievement and true American exceptionalism. We will go on to be lawyers, teachers, policymakers, professors, and hold positions of influence. I hope that the Michigan history class of 2021 uses our collective considerable talents and skills that we've honed over the last 4 years to realize our highest aspirations of what this country can be, to truly make it a shining city on a hill. Going to college anywhere is an investment, and at Michigan history, that investment is one that will yield great dividends, as we are well equipped to succeed and shape our country in context. As my personal idol Winston Churchill said, history is written by the victors. As graduates of the University of Michigan, I think that this is particularly true. Thank you, and go blue.
Thank you, Chase. I now want to shift gears into presenting an award, and by noting that each year the history undergraduates select a faculty member for the Undergraduate Teaching Award. Their task is to recognize a faculty member for exceptional, challenging, and innovative teaching. They are wholly responsible for choosing the recipient, the students are, and thus coming from our students It is one of the most cherished and meaningful honors in our department. And I will say too that it's one of my favorite parts of the program. This year's recipient of the History Undergraduate Teaching Award is Professor Howard Brick. In selecting Professor Brick for this award, our undergraduates highlighted his dedication to their success in the classroom, including especially his generous support in their research. They also noted his attention to their well-being, which has been an especially critical consideration this past year. Indeed, our students expressed deep gratitude for the adjustments Professor Brick made during the pandemic. In his skillful transition to remote learning, he balanced the intellectual rigor for which his courses are known with compassion for the educational and personal challenges confronting our students and all of us. I am pleased to congratulate Professor Brick for winning this award. Howie, could you unmute yourself, say hello and wave so we can recognize you for this honor?
Hello. I am deeply honored, surely humbled, as we often say, but to get this kind of award from our students is very special. And I can only say how much I've enjoyed working with all the undergraduates I've taught here. Thank you so much.
Congratulations and way to go, Howie. I'm absolutely delighted as one of Howard Brick's former students. I want to take a moment to highlight some of the outstanding achievements of our students. Every year, the history department recognizes a graduating major with the Undergraduate Service and Leadership Award, given for meaningful and lasting contributions to the Department of History and the University of Michigan. This year, I have the pleasure of giving the award to Jillian Lucille. Miss Lucille's nomination packet included letters from both faculty and staff and applauded her commitment to historical scholarship in and outside the classroom. She recently completed an honors thesis on Detroit's garage rock scene, and she combined her research interests with her work at the department's Eisenberg Institute for Historical Studies, the University of Michigan Museum of Natural History, the Henry Ford, and as president of our department's history club. One nominator summed it up nicely when they commented on her, quote, desire to share her passion for history with others. Congratulations, Jillian, on this much deserved recognition, and thank you for your many contributions to the life of our department. Jillian, could you unmute yourself, please, to say hello and wave so we can recognize you for this honor?
Of course, thank you so much, Kate and everyone. Thank you for all the congratulations. I've loved my time here at the history department, and I'm so thankful for all of our professors and department staff. I'm really going to miss everyone, and I'm going to remember my time with the history department forever and take it with me to all of my future endeavors.
Congratulations, Jillian. It is now my pleasure to introduce our next student speaker, Kelly O'Donnell. Kelly, the floor is yours.
Is Kelly here? Kelly maybe is not here today. Okay, well, we will move on, and if Kelly makes it back into the call, I look forward to hearing from her. What I'd like to do now is, it's my great pleasure to introduce our distinguished keynote speaker. Professor Marty Pernick received his PhD in history from Columbia University, and he joined our department in 1979. Over the years, he has received numerous fellowships and honors, including from the National Library of Medicine and the National Endowment for the Humanities. His many publications on the history of medicine and health include the books The Black Stork, Eugenics and the Death of quote unquote defective babies in American Medicine and Motion Pictures since 1915, and A Calculus of Suffering, Pain, Professionalism, and Anesthesia in 19th Century America. He has appeared on various networks and shows, including 60 Minutes, ABC's 2020, National Public Radio, the Public Broadcasting System, and many others. Professor Pernick has long been a valued member of our department and served in numerous leadership positions. He has been particularly critical in the development and growth of our History of Medicine and Health minor, and perhaps most appropriate for this occasion, he has long been one of our most popular and highly acclaimed professors in the classroom. We often ask our students in advising how they chose history as a major or as a minor, how they ended up in these courses, and time again, they cite Professor Pernick and his courses as the reason they came into history. His work and his teaching have had a tremendous influence on our department. He is greatly admired and deeply respected by our students and by all of us, and it is a great pleasure to introduce him as our keynote speaker. And I want to note that we will be streaming this pre-recorded address. If you have trouble viewing it in the share screen feature, you may also access the video in the online commencement program. You can find a link to this in the chat.
Congratulations to the families and friends and to my fellow members of the history graduating class of 2021. I consider myself a member of the class of 2021 since this was my final year of teaching at U of M. Although, unlike you, it took me 42 years here to finish. Our class and I also shared the experience of having to, as they said, pivot abruptly due to the global pandemic of COVID-19. My teaching and research focus on the history of disease, but teaching about the history of epidemics in the midst of an actual pandemic was an unprecedented experience. Issues long familiar to me as remote past abstractions suddenly became part of our current reality in ways that led me to re-examine the relation between past and present in general, to use the current pandemic to reflect on the broader role of the present in history. When I became a history major in 1966, I was taught to exclude the present from history. In a peer review here in Michigan in 1982, a senior colleague warned me to cut the references to the present from my book manuscript, or I'd never get tenure here. Any mixing of past and present ran the risk of anachronistic presentism. This division was partly a reaction against earlier claims that history offered explicit lessons, that those who failed to learn those lessons were doomed to repeat them. Those of you who've taken our course History 102, History of the Present, may not realize how new such a course was only a decade ago. Connecting the current pandemic to the past begins with making comparisons that include both similarities and differences. The similarities include overflowing hospitals and cemeteries, patients dying alone in isolation, deaths caused by social disruption and by social disparities that rival the mortality caused by the virus itself. COVID-19 also revived controversies familiar from many past epidemics. Our debates over closing public places, over requiring masks and vaccinations, echo prior conflicts between government institutions and individual autonomy. These debates go back to the creation of health boards and quarantines that expanded government powers during the Black Death of the 1340s and in the cholera pandemics of the 19th century. COVID-19 was caused by a new virus, but it provided a reminder that new diseases are not new. New diseases have been part of human history for millennia. Other aspects of this pandemic do seem new. Modern genetics produced new diagnostic tests and new methods of making vaccines that would have been unimaginable a decade ago. New social media spread information and disinformation with unprecedented speed and intensity. Avoiding anachronism in making such comparisons does not require excluding the present from history. Rather, comparing past and present pandemics illustrates the need to distinguish two different goals. First, trying to explain the past in modern terms. And second, trying to suspend modern views to recreate the experiences and perspectives of the past participants. Historians may want to know what it was like to live in a world that believed witchcraft could cause plagues. But historians also may want to know how modern science explains such plagues. Using modern ideas to explain the past is not in itself anachronistic, but it is essential that historians distinguish when we are trying to recreate past perspectives and when we are trying to explain the past in modern terms. The fallacy of anachronism is the failure to separate these two different goals. Of course, historians can never really fully separate past and present perspectives. We can't free ourselves of our present-day concepts or actually go live in the past. Still, it is essential that historians keep clear which perspective we are trying to adopt. Trying to experience the past on its own terms can be something like time travel, a way of going back to encounter people and places that are different from anything that exists today. Time travel is an adventure. Historians get to go places and meet people we'd never see any other way. And this kind of history keeps historians alert to puzzling surprises, unexpected particularities, differences that we might never see or imagine any other way. They did what? In seeking out unusual past perspectives, however, we need to carefully avoid making the past seem overly exotic. We need to include both the familiarity and the strangeness of the past. Consider the following two small but provocative, unexpected examples from the history of epidemics. First, in 19th century America, yellow fever killed around 10% of the people in stricken cities almost every year from 1793 to 1905. Yet, in one of the worst outbreaks, in 1853 New Orleans, There were no quarantines, no closing public places. Newspapers reported that street vendors hawked confections to the crowds of spectators that gathered to gawk at the overflowing cemeteries. Second example, in 1348, during the Black Death that killed roughly half of Europe, the newly formed Paris medical faculty officially consulted the advice of the leading authorities on astrology. The ability to understand such unexpected actions requires empathy. Empathy can be defined as the ability to walk in someone else's shoes, to see their world from their perspective. Such empathy is not sympathy. Understanding past viewpoints does not require agreeing with them. But historical empathy is useful far beyond history as well. To understand other people and other perspectives today. To be more aware of, more competent in comprehending present-day differences. It can help a professional communicate with their clients or patients. It can help achieve inclusion and diversity in the workplace or the public sphere. History not only develops the ability to understand others, it also provides an essential perspective from which to understand ourselves. Those who know only the present are limited in their understanding of human possibilities. They tend to assume that the present is the way things have to be. History helps see that the present is not necessarily inevitable, fixed, permanent. Finding that the past was different reveals the possibility that the present might turn out differently as well. History also provides an outside vantage point that highlights parts of the present we would otherwise overlook because we would take them for granted. Trying to understand the present without knowing the past is like what the writer David Foster Wallace once described as trying to explain water to a fish. That which is everywhere is nowhere. The most important things can be invisible if they are commonplace and omnipresent. For example, viewed from the perspective of modern medicine, the concept of disease can appear universal, timeless, objective, unchanging. However, the history of disease reveals constant change, not only due to increasing scientific knowledge, but due to changing social and cultural values as well. The value judgments that shape today's concepts of disease, such as that death is bad, can be so widely shared as to be invisible. But finding examples of past cultures that didn't share those values can make visible how central such omnipresent values are in present-day medicine. The past does not provide specific predictions or prescriptions for current problems. But your history education does provide you with specific tools and methods that help understand both the past and the present. First, it shows the importance of distinguishing between trying to reconstruct past perspectives and trying to explain the past using present-day perspectives. Second, Historical awareness of the variety of possibilities that have existed reveals the potential changeability of the present. Third, historical empathy provides you with a tool for understanding others, past and present. Finally, the past provides you with a vantage point that can reveal important but otherwise invisible commonplace essentials, a way to see yourselves from outside the fishbowl of the present. Best wishes and congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Marty. That was wonderful and timely. Marty, are you here?
I thank you all for the chance to tie up some things I've been wrestling with for decades. Congratulations to you all. Thank you, Steve, Kate, Jay.
Thank you so much, Marty. All right. Professors Christian DePay, Jennifer Jones, Kenneth Mills, and Melanie Tennellian will now help us recognize our graduates. As a reminder, please do not unmute yourselves to cheer until after we have recognized our entire class of graduates.
Let me add my congratulations. There can never be too many congratulations. And it is my task to read the names of the first 25 students in alphabetical order. So here they go. Congratulations to all of you. Charlotte Louise Abrams, Bryce Akins, Caitlin Albrecht, Amir Qasim Ali, Basil El-Subi, Marcel Angeles, Bridget Tukey Triggs Anscombe, Jack Beckham, Timothy Bennett, Grace Bergeron, Nathan Berman, Michaela Bird, Robert Bjerke, Elise Nicole Borbey, Tessa Bradley, Daniel Brennan, Mason Brzezinski, Lisa Bruin, Joseph Bugay, Brandon Burkhart, Whitney Burkett, Catherine Burney, Isabel Brzezinski, Jocelyn Campos, Ana Cecilia Carreto Cordonia, Reese Carter, Miranda Chambers, Vincent Michael Chandler, John Chase, Eaton, Brooke Christians, Anthony Saichocki, Teresa Clark, John Kobo, Eve Cornelius, Haley Cotton, Emily Crabtree, and Aniela Creighton. Congratulations.
Good afternoon. Allow me to add my voice to the chorus. Congratulations to the class of 2021. I hope each of you takes time to celebrate this important milestone and achievement. And I have been tasked with reading the second column of names on the program. Allison Cromer, Bradley Cronk, Jacob Dale, John Cottrell Davidson, Sanjay Day, Corey Dubin, Lauren Dunbeck, Benjamin L. Boehm, Joseph Emmerich Jr., William Fitzharris, Scott C. Flake, Calvin Freefelt, Audrey Gao, Noah Garfinkel, Alexander Gavulik, David Lee Girding II, Dustin Gladstone, Chase Glasser, Madeline Glasser, Gabriella Glick, Haley Glushin, Carrie Griffin, Nicholas Henderlong, Adrian Huntley, James Hutchins IV, Kevin Hutkowski, Aparna Ramanan Iyer, Audrey Jacobson, Paul Jacobson, Sophia Jaskowski, Amelia Jonick, Kelly C. Kaken, William Kelly, Isabel Kenhard, Hope Kennedy, Nizrin Coker, Promise Kim, John G. Kitzler.
Congratulations, graduates. I'm Professor Kenneth Mills, and it's a great pleasure to be here to join with others, representing all of my colleagues and friends, and to be here in your honor. Christopher Kovacs, Brandon Linnace, Riley Longefeld, Greta Leader, Max Lee, Silas Lee, Jonathan Lilo, Evan Matthew Losi, Maria Louise Locicero, Jillian Lucille, Francis McCathan, Carolyn Martin, Barbara Melas, Eliana Metney, Taylor Mickelson, Benjamin Mikula, Georgia Minkoff, Abigail Jean Maya, Rachel Maloney, Donald Malosky Jr., Jason T. Murphy, Shannon Murphy, Aviva Namath, Henry Newman, Elena Nugent, Kelly O'Donnell, Liam O'Toole, Jacob Pash, Brian Paul, Sarah Payne, Tyrone Pettigrew, Audrey Pierce, Marissa Pruitt, Philip Rappaport, Kyung-Suk Ri, Adam Rich, Brenna Ringwelski, and Samuel Rosenblum.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dear class of 2021, we're incredibly proud of you, and my warmest congratulations to all of you. And I'll be reading the last half, but not the least half of the alphabet. Congratulations to Sabine Rundlet, Jasmine Sadehi, Estrella Salgado, Anya Satyavadi, Laura Scarbeck, Carolyn Schneider, Jason Samaya, Dylan Chain, Ashika Shetty, Grace Schulman, Julia Sage Sherman Silverman, Nagarjun Singaram, Connor Smith, Gideon Soche, Sophia Spencer, Laura Stahl, James Stinnett, Sarah Elizabeth Sukol, Jacob Randolph Talbot, Austin Teholitz, Tanushri Thakur, Victoria Theed, Marissa Thomas, Alexandra Tretyakova, Anna Vaneste, Zachary Bax, Zachary Vega, Jacqueline Vax, Andrew Warwick, Marissa Weiner, Justin Weiss, Molly Elizabeth Ann Wilson, Eric Rolson, Shi Yun Wu, Michaela Yili, Ji Chin, Isabella Grace Young, Shiki Chang, and Isabel Sunieha. Thank you and congratulations, everyone.
Thank you. And as Christian said, you can't have too many congratulations in this moment. Congratulations to the class of 2021. I now want to invite everyone to unmute yourself and join me in applauding our graduates.
Go blue.
J-Mo.
Congratulations.
Wow, that was awesome. That sounded not so different from when we're in the auditorium. Really incredible group of people, incredible to hear those names called off. I'd like to, at this point, share with you a special video we created for our graduates from our faculty and staff. We will be streaming this segment, and again, if you have trouble viewing, you can access the video in the online commencement program. You can find a link to this in the chat.
Congratulations, class of 2021. You've done it. You've done it in a hard time. We're so proud of you. Good luck.
This was a year like no other, but you are students like no others. And you now have stories to prove it. So congratulations, class of 2021. Complimenti vivissimi, as we say in Italian.
Congratulations, history graduates, at this juncture and as you step into your fabulous futures.
Congratulations to the 2021 graduating class of history students at the University of Michigan. It's been a pleasure getting to know you and to working with you. I know this year you've lived through history, and now it's your turn to go out and make history.
The best part of graduation for faculty is meeting your parents, your families, your friends, and seeing how proud they are of what you've accomplished. This year we can't do that in person, so we'll simply send you our warmest regards and ask you to convey to them how proud we are of everything that you've done and that they have supported you in doing. Thank you.
Class of 2021 majors in history, congratulations on graduating and felicitations, especially for your excellent taste in majors.
Today, a personal era comes to an end for you, so that a new era can start. On the occasion of this momentous transition, I want to congratulate you on all your wonderful and many achievements, and wish you all the very best for your future.
Congratulations, class of 2021. You are the most resilient and innovative graduating class. Go Blue.
I want to wish congrats to the grads. You've plowed through a very difficult academic year, and you pulled off the great accomplishment of your degree. May your historical understanding enrich your lives and motivate you to do good work in the world. All my best to you and your families.
History class of 2021, well done. I wish we could all be together to celebrate this special day, but in years to come, you'll be able to look back on this as a graduation truly like none other. So go forth and celebrate, but carefully.
When you became a history major at the University of Michigan, you probably didn't think that you were going to be part of history yourself as a member of the pandemic generation. But here we are. We're so happy that we were able to know you here at the University of Michigan, and we hope that you'll keep in touch. Meanwhile, we have every confidence that you'll make your way in this uncertain world with care, thoughtfulness, and compassion. Congratulations again, class of 2021, and go Blue.
Congratulations, class of 2021. We really missed seeing you here during your senior year, so don't be strangers. Come back and tell us about all you're doing. And again, big congratulations.
Who could that be?
Why, it's Mr. Jones, our mail carrier. What do you have for us, Mr. Jones? Thank you for this package. Let's see what this says.
To the class of 2021, congratulations and best wishes.
Dear class of 2021, my warmest congratulations to all of you. You had to overcome unprecedented obstacles, and we are all so very proud of you. May your future involve fewer Zoom calls, always excellent internet wherever you go, and of course, great success in all of your endeavors. Congratulations, everyone.
Hey, class of 2021, you made it. You not only made it through college, but you also made it through a pandemic. The history department staff wish you all the best in everything you set out to do. Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Congratulations, class of 2021. Like the candidates in the Chinese imperial examinations, you have hit the target, hit the bullseye. Congratulations.
Congratulations, graduates. There'll be challenges ahead, but you've been juggling exams, papers, life, jobs, and everything for years. You've got this.
Let me wish you the warmest congratulations on getting through this extraordinary COVID-19 year and graduating from the University of Michigan History Department. All the best to you in your future endeavors.
Congratulations, history class of 2021. Yes, it's been a strange senior year, and the pandemic is still surging. But with jabs in your arms and diplomas in your hands, we know you're ready to take your place in the world. Go out and do great things.
What's up, class of 2021? It's been quite the year, but like you guys, your professors have been learning a lot of new stuff too. So I just wanted to say, congrats!
Many congratulations to the class of 2021.
And now for our closing remarks. Please welcome our final student speaker, Barbara Melis.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I'll keep it brief to close us out. I would first like to congratulate all of the new history graduates. To my fellow graduating history majors, the degree we are receiving is incredibly valuable in more ways than one. During our time at the University of Michigan, many of us have proudly wore the history department's t-shirt. Eloquently written on the back of that very t-shirt is a quote which states, "Those who study the past shape the future." When we depart from the university with a history degree, that statement will be etched into our hearts and minds forever. I urge you all to remember the sentiment expressed on the t-shirt, that whether we move on to continue our studies in history, to study in another field entirely, or to enter into the workforce, we have acquired the life-changing skills and tools necessary to deeply consider our human history, to analyze the present, and to create the future. I would also like to recognize and thank our incredible history faculty. To our history faculty, on behalf of the graduating history class of fall 2020, winter 2021, and summer 2021, I would like to thank you for sharing the love of history with us, for disciplining us in your field, and for the invaluable lessons you taught us every semester. The lectures, guidance, and support you have afforded us have been indispensable, have undoubtedly enriched each one of our lives too. And on a more lighthearted note, the history books you recommended to us and required us to have for your classes over the years have certainly grown our personal libraries, as you can see behind me. And while I wish I could thank every single one of my history professors today by name, I would like to personally thank 2 history professors who have played a significant role in my life as I completed this degree. In no particular order, I'd like to thank Professor Emeritus Martin Pernick, who was our keynote speaker today. 1 year before the COVID-19 pandemic began, I had the privilege of taking 2 of his courses, Sickness and Health and Society and Epidemics. I was able to use and apply what I learned in his courses as I watched the pandemic unfold before my very eyes, and it was surreal how I could truly watch history being made in my own lifetime. I believe there are countless former students of Professor Pernick who could say the very same thing. I would also like to thank Professor Callie Israel. I also had the privilege of taking 2 of her courses, both regarding the history of Great Britain. Her passion for teaching these courses was so evident, and it influenced me deeply. Her expertise and enthusiasm for teaching history reflect the highest caliber of professorship. I would also like to thank our family and friends for supporting us through our time at Michigan. Your encouragement and support have sustained us. And finally, for my peers, I encourage you to consider the significance of our experience in the history department. Precisely because of our time spent studying history, we will carry what we learned for the rest of our lives. With this, we have both the profound power and the responsibility to shape our collective future, of which future historians will study. So thank you, and go Blue.
Thank you, Barbara. What a perfect way to close out this ceremony. And I also want to thank all of you for joining us and to remind you that video of this ceremony will be available on the Commencement website next week. Congratulations once again to all of our graduates. Have a good evening, everyone. It's great to see you all.